education system.
Yes, because I have my senior research project.
Mm-hmm.
My professor who's helping me did the JET program in Kobe, and he was really fascinated by the education system that he is going to do Fulbright and do teaching at university in Japan. And he was saying that he would help me for my senior research project. But the research project that I want to do, we have to find a topic that talks about communication skills with people. In English, we call it rhetoric. What kind of rhetoric do we want to study? I wanted to study. Some people are choosing why new movies by Disney are very anti-political. Like they don't like politics at all, and they support every single sexuality and gender, and how they think that's wrong or that's good. I don't want to do that kind of project. The kind of project that I want to do is talking about why Japanese education is so strong but different than ours, but how both your education system and my education system, they work, but they're different. Why? How can you share your education system skills, or your how can your education system be adopted into our education system, and vice versa? So how can our education system work for your guys' education system? Does that make sense at all? Like, do you understand?
Yeah, understood.
So if we were to teach leadership and tonality, like being very clear when you talk in Japanese culture, and had Japanese culture integrate that in the education system, what would that be like? Or how would Japanese go and adopt, like, do you know the word, that one?
Equality.
Yeah. You know that one?
Yes.
What about this one?
Equity.
Yes.
Like bond. Bond.
Sort of.
Sorry. No. Equity. Share. Like share.
Not that kind of equity. That's business. Equity and equality are different.
Ability.
Equity would be focusing on individual, one person at a time, whereas equality focuses on everyone at the same time. So in Japan, do you think that in a classroom setting that teachers teach all the students at the same pace, at the same time, and treat everyone the same? Or do you think people have more learning that they need to different students? Do you think one student needs more help than another student? And do you think teachers recognize that? What do you think? Or do you think that teachers focus on one student at a time in a classroom, which is equity?
At least, I think at least the teachers in Japan, they are trying to keep equality during the class. But in reality, there are some students who can't keep up with class. So, but anyways, they will they go with their curriculum, which is stipulated by government.
Right.
I mentioned like a mandatory education system, like primary to junior high school.
Right.
So for better or worse, Japanese mandatory education system doesn't allow to skip to skip some years. I mean, if there are very excellent students, they can't skip they can skip years.
But if they don't, what happens to them then? What happens to the student?
Maybe
is it very punishing? Is it very accommodating?
Yeah.
Punishing.
So
why is that?
Then they might. Sorry, I'm not sure, but I think they change schools.
Oh, they changed schools to an easier school?
If they are excellent, a better school, a private school might be fluctuate, flexible about curriculum.
Do you think that's a good type of education system? Because in America, we have something very similar to that, except people who go to private school is because their parents have more money for their kid to have better education. Do you think that's unfair, or do you think that's very reasonable to pay more for your kid to go to private school in Japan?
Basically, it's unfair.
Yeah,
Unfair.
I agree.
But
why do you think it's unfair?
Because if you have rich parents, the possibility for you to get into excellent school becomes higher,
achievable, versus a parent who doesn't have enough money. Their student or their kid will be going to a cheaper common school, correct?
Yes.